Yeah, hi everyone, Jason here, Robot Lawn Mowers Australia. A pretty exciting little day today. We've received our first couple of the brand new Husqvarna EPOS 580L models. So these are the new, slightly larger robotic lawnmower, really designed for sports, turf and golf, as well as sort of municipal areas and things like that, facilities. The special thing about this robot though is that it can cut down to 10 millimeters high, being the L. So the 580L version means it can go down to 10 millimeters, the same as its bigger brother, the Ciora. So we're going to do a quick unboxing, show you what's in the box, run down the specs, and then hopefully in future videos we'll show you a whole bunch of features and how they actually operate. Let's get into it. Okay, so the top of the box is all very well packaged, as you'd completely expect from Husqvarna. They always have minimal packaging, but do a really good job of protecting the robot. Everything's cardboard and recyclable, except for the bit of bubble wrap that's on top. Okay, so inside the end box over here, I'll show you quickly. So all the bits and pieces for the charging station are all tied up inside that box at the end there. Okay, so that's everything out of the box. Charging station comes with the head removed, so in a separate spot there, so that just gets fixed down, and there's 4 screws inside that bag there to screw that down there. I'll talk about this one in a second. There's a little cover there that goes over these terminals on the side here, and we'll talk about those terminals in a second. Manuals, obviously, all the normal sort of stuff. Fixing screws for the charging station down there, and a couple of other bits and screws there. That bag there has actually got the active wheel brushes in it, so it's got the wheel brushes that go in the back wheels. We'll talk about those in a second. They don't come fitted for some reason. I'm not sure why they're not fitted, that's okay. And this box here has got the power supply in it, which I will briefly talk about, because the biggest change with this line of robot lawnmower from the previous Husqvarna models, the previous smaller Husqvarna models I should say, like the 550, is that this now works on a 36 volt platform. So previously they're working on an 18 or a 20 volt platform. We're now working on a 36 volt platform, which allows you to have a lot more sort of energy storage in your battery as you're going, and also basically gives that extra step up in power in the cutting mode and cutting system, which is one of the bigger differences with this robot again as well. So that's what comes in the box. These points over the side here, one of the features of this robot is it actually has a dock by wire system. So if the charging station is installed in a location where there's no GNS signal, there's no GPS for it to guide itself, then you can actually install a boundary wire in a small loop or wherever it has to go, so it can actually follow the wire back to the charging station, which means this charging station can be installed undercover, in roofs, in garages, wherever you'd like it to be. It can actually be installed just about anywhere because it can follow that wire, but you do have to install that wire in that location to get there. I think that's it about that, and we will get this stuff out of the way. I'll bring the robot over and we'll have a look at the robot. Okay, so here she is, the EPOS 580L. The L series, so the low cut version of this comes with the rubber guards on the front here, so all the front's rubberized, and that is just pure and simply because these are sort of designed to go on golf courses mostly. So this particular model cuts down to 10mm, like I said earlier, so you can mow fairways and things like that with it, and if the golf balls do hit it, it's got a little bit more protection for the golf balls to bounce off, which is a great little feature. The 3 top bits on the top here, and that is actually maintenance. They're actually maintenance spots to actually roll the robot over onto. So you can actually roll the robot completely upside down, and it sits on those three spots. So you can actually, the robot's nice and solid, nice and stable, and you can work on it really easily. While we've got it upside down, 26cm cutting system, so it's a little bit of a step up from the previous models in far as the actual size of the actual cutting system goes. It does have the skid plate on the top there as well, which is fantastic. We do find when we're cutting at really low heights that having a skid plate really does help. A center point connection only to take the entire disc off, so 1 bolt out, quick change off, put a new one on, so you can change them over very, very quickly. Really large front wheels on these guys. Well, they're actually probably about the largest front wheel I've just about seen on a robot mower, separate to the Ciora. They're only slightly smaller than a Ciora, basically. I don't know the actual dimensions, but they're about 100mm. Thereabouts might even be 110mm. And the width of them, or the surface area width, is going to be about 60-70mm, maybe, yeah, in that ballpark on the ground. Back wheels, nice and large and skinny, like Husqvarna always have. They've really done a great job, previous models, keeping that traction on the ground. So I think that's going to be a fantastic thing. I'm not sure if you can see here on the side here. They're little scrape guards on this little orange little thing here. It actually just scrapes the inside of the wheel, so it keeps the inside of the wheel clean as it goes around, which is another great little feature. The wheel brushes, I'll just put him up this way for you. So the wheel brushes actually go on these little shafts here. Sits there, so they're free spinning little brushes, but they sit there and just keep the wheels clean as it goes along. So as that robot's working, it's going to keep the actual tyre clean as it goes along. Again, it's another feature that you'll see on. You sort of have brushes are on most robot mowers these days, particularly commercial ones. But it's only the Ciora has actually brush motors that actually turn and actually and keep everything nice and clean as it goes along. I think that's it underneath the robot, guys. Put him back on his wheels here, turn him around this way so you can see these buttons. So the other good thing that they did with these models is that they've now got basically a mini version of the Ciora control panel on here. So really, really simple. You really just have your stop, start, play, your maintenance point as well, because these can be set up to go back to a maintenance point, and your Bluetooth connection button. So really simple interface, and look, on the Cioras it works really, really well. So I've always been very, very happy with that. The type of charging system or contacts at the front there is the same as it always has been with Husqvarna. They haven't really had to change those now. They've actually perfected those now. They really do work very, very well, and the docking system is really, really reliable on the Husqvarna mowers. As far as more specs go on the machine, so like I said before, it now runs on a 36 volt platform to give it a little bit more power. So the battery in this guy is actually an 8 amp hour battery, but again, it's at 36 volts. So you've got to remember that when we talk about energy storage in the battery, we talk about watt hours. So the battery in this guy is about 288 watt hours. The battery in the previous 550 model of these guys is about 180 watt hours. So it is a significant amount more power storage in the battery, and using that 36 volt system gives you more power to the actual cutting system to be able to cut the grass particularly down at a low point. Capacity wise, these are 8,000 square meters per every 24 hours. So they recommended up to, obviously we use the 48-hour rule, particularly here in Queensland, but in Australia we generally use the 48-hour rule. The mower must finish the entire mowing area within that 48-hour period and start again. So these guys are limited to around about that 16,000 square metres here in Queensland. And depending on exactly what quality of cut you're actually after, then it may need to work more and basically start that mowing system even quicker than 48 hours. It still uses exactly the same guidance system as the previous models of all Husqvarna, so it uses the EPOS antenna or reference station, which is purchased separately from the robots. That's why you don't get it in the box there, so it's purchased separately from the robot, and we're installing those antennas really high, particularly on golf courses and sporting fields. We'll install that antenna up really high to get the best view of the sky, and that antenna gives these robots the accuracy they need, which is down to around about 2 centimetres of accuracy. So they're going to be holding perfectly straight lines while mowing. Really honestly can't wait to get this guy actually set up and actually take some video and see how it actually runs. So the other sort of slight change on these guys is the lighting, or the warning lights on top of these. So these warning lights are actually on the top here as well, as opposed to previously it was just the headlights and the little tail light that was actually making that difference. And there's no headlights in the front there, which I was curious about. Radar in the front as well, so it's got a radar obstacle avoidance system, so it's a little bit longer distance than using ultrasonics, so it really should be able to see quite a fair way in front of it to slow down if there's anything in its way. It's still got the same bump system as always, so it's got a floating cover, so it actually knows when it bumps from any direction, it knows when it's been bumped into. And obviously the blade system will turn off as soon as it gets to about there. The blade system will just instantly shut down, as well as soon as the wheels are actually lifted from the ground, it's actually going to know that it's been lifted and shut those blade systems off. So that they really are incredibly safe machines. It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely that anyone could ever touch the blade while it's actually spinning. So that's it for this video, guys. Only a very quick one just to show you the machine. I'm excited to have it. Can't wait to get it out and trial it and take some more videos for you. If you have any questions, by all means comment below. Or if you're in Australia, by all means get in contact with us at sales@robotlawnmowers.com.au. Check out our website at www.robotlawnmowers.com.au and see all the daily interactions on our socials, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. Thanks for watching.